awaydaysbeer.com, proud to partner with Talking Town. For only $14.99, grab your ITFC Legends Pack from The Beat to Hoppy Robson to Brazil's Best and Pablo's Pal. Whatever you need, whatever you want. ITFC Legends Pack, $14.99 at awaydaysbeer.com. Grab it today. Mass Creations are proud partners of Talking Town. High quality web and software development. From web development to SEO and everything in between, make your vision a reality with Mass Creations. Call 07896 904 571 or visit masscreations.co.uk or email info@masscreations.co.uk. Mass Creations, proud partners of Talking Town. Don't forget, tell them you came from Talking Town to get 10% off. Best Burger in Stone Market, proud partners of Talking Town. Call 01449 680 058 to book a table today. Welcome back to the full-time show, live reaction show between Wales and Switzerland, a game that finished 1-1. I am joined again by George, Nunn, and this time Peter Cox. Hopefully, Cox's connection holds up. Before I ask for both their opinions, don't forget, hit subscribe if you're new here. If you are new here, you can get involved and have your say. Links in the chat. Unlike the Town post-game shows, I don't imagine there have been a lot of people that have a lot to say on the Wales-Switzerland game, but you could be surprised. Link is there if you so wish. A few comments. Namely, Brown, what a header from Moore. Great header. Mike Brown, Wales were far better second half. Michael Finch, how Moore has flourished after he left Ipswich is amazing. Just proved, oh my God, we've got someone waiting in the VIP area. Wow, there we go. Just proves how poor we are.
It's got to be the fisherman.
It's got to be. It is. Why am I actually answer who it is? See exactly who it is. That smiling little face. Absolutely love it. ITFC really like the Wales kit. Get it if it wasn't English. First of all, let's ask our two contributors, first of all. George, you have been here the whole game. Second half came alive thanks to a great goal by Switzerland. Then died a little bit, and then header from Moore. What did you make of the second half?
That's it, really. Like it came alive when they scored, and then it just fizzled out. It kind of turned back into the first half. Really didn't feel like Wales were making too much of an effort to get back into it until they did get back into it. I thought, I got sidetracked by looking at my England squad, so it can't have been too interesting. But
it wasn't. Is it a post? Is it a game that the governing body should really be paying attention to, because the heat played a hell of a factor here. The tempo was low. Everybody was on their arse come about 60 minutes.
Yeah, I thought
this is Qatar playing out, isn't it?
Yeah, the Swiss look really tired. And I was looking at the stats. Sorry, Mike, but I was. They had far fewer passes in the second half, and Wales almost matched them actually, and they just looked a bit leggy. I thought, and it just sort of fizzled out a little bit, and I'm not surprised given that it was 30 odd degrees.
And Coxie, what did you make of the game?
Well, pretty much the same, really. I mean, it was a great goal by Switzerland. That's all. I mean, you thought then, well, this is probably going to liven the game up, but no. And after that, if anything, Wales looked a bit worse for wear after that. As George said, they were a bit leggy. They didn't have any room there. You know, perhaps it was the heat. And good point by you, Gov. This is Qatar next year, and if not worse. Yeah, and I couldn't see Wales getting back into it, but they did. Keiffer Moore popped up with a header. Yeah,
he really did. He really did. Yeah, it's a great header. Got across his first man, movement, and then he should have had two in this game. The one in the first half as well was particularly delightful from a Welsh perspective. But Jan Sommer, who I was praising pre-game, matched it. So the group, obviously Italy after game week 1, and we'll bring a couple of people in a minute and have their say on the game. But after game week 1 of Group A, is it Italy's now? You can't see anybody else knocking them off the top spot in terms of they're the best team in the group that we've seen. And if so, who for you finishes second and important third place? Well, I suppose you will start with George. How do you see this group playing out now you've seen all 4 teams?
Well, I imagine Italy are delighted with that as a result. I think that's pretty much sealed up the group for them. To be honest, I couldn't have asked for better than that in terms of a draw. I think, really tough. I still think Switzerland will finish second. They just looked a better team for me, and they just got a bit. I thought they got a bit tired, but I'm not expecting them to get much from Italy. But I think they should walk over Turkey only based on yesterday, but based on what we saw yesterday.
So Ryan Senior doesn't think Wales will get out of the group. We're poor today. Michael, great goal with Switzerland. Moore said it was much better. Coxie, how do you see the group going before bringing Lloyd?
Oh, Lloyd. It was a bit. I mean, before they said when Switzerland scored, they looked leggy, perhaps tired, lack of energy. And I was sort of thinking, that they're going to be lucky to get one of the third places on that showing. And they did come back into the game. Both sides had chances to win it. But, I mean, on what we've seen so far, Italy should walk the group. I mean, you didn't know, is it going to be a different Turkey next time they play? Who knows? But, but what we've seen so far, it looks as it is. It looks Italy in first place, the Swiss in second, but will Turkey wake up?
Who knows? Let's bring in Lloyd. Lloyd, you've been with us all day. How are you doing, my friend?
I think they, as I said, they defended the box. They wouldn't have the first half. What bothered me a little bit in the second
Lloyd.
And getting so much joy.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Good. What did you make of today's game?
I'm good. Can you hear me? Oh.
No. All right. Try and come back in, Lloyd. Try and come back in. Connection's not great there. I'll tell you one person who has a lot to say. Always got a lot to say. It's the fisherman. I love you, Mike. I love you. You had a 50% chance of being right at halftime.
Oh, come on. No, do you know what?
That's a stat for you, that is.
I never follow stats in football. I've seen so many stats thrown out in games where you think teams are going to walk this and stuff like that. I mean, look at Ipswich, but we had games where we had so much possession and we ended up losing them. So, for me, I said Swiss were there for the taking, and I'll tell you why. Because I just didn't think they were they could pass the ball, but defensively they didn't look all that, to be honest. I mean, James down that left-hand side was causing no end of problems. Got that yellow card for that right back or defender, actually, wasn't it? And for me, I always felt that they were always going to concede a goal at some point. Switzerland, they're strong up front. There's no getting past that. They can put a few sort of quality balls in and stuff. But I mean, Wales keeper was superb today as well, wasn't he? Moore should have really. I guess he was unlucky with that first header. It was, I enjoyed that second half better than I did the first. To be honest, I thought Wales contained Switzerland quite well in that first half.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were particularly brilliant. I always felt that Wales had another gear to go up, which proved it when they went to goal down. No, when the goal down, that was it. It was like, right, we can't have this. We need to get out. And sometimes games do need a goal to motivate players. You know, motivate a team. But it is hot out there, isn't it? I mean, like you say, Martin, that is Qatar next year. Let's be honest. That is horrible. I'm sat in my air-conditioned bedroom. You know, I've had my air conditioning unit on in here for the last hour watching that game.
Don't be fooled. It ain't air conditioning. It's just his wife pedaling a fan.
I'll tell you said that. But I enjoyed that game. I did enjoy that game. I thought it was
he's always got to keep the machinery cool, Martin. You got to give that, you know.
Absolutely,
got to keep the machinery moving, you know.
You had that half time, didn't you, Coxie? You had that half time.
Seven kids. He's got to keep things, you know, well cooled and well oiled. Come on.
I'm 52 now, mate. None of that happens in this house. I'll tell you.
I don't know
that now.
I just had a prawn pizza, guys. Come on, please. Come on.
Apologies.
Brilliant. But yeah, no, I mean, I enjoyed that game. It was nice to see Wales get. I like Wales. I've got some really good friends that live in Wales, and you know, it's different if it's England Wales. I want us to beat them, but
Michael Finch, air conditioned window.
Don't knock until you tried it. I'm telling you, I'm not until you tried it. Velcro gloves at Wellingtons. You can't beat them.
Mike,
I thought it was skate with fishermen, Mike, not
Yeah, you know.
You've seen all 4 teams now, Mike. You didn't rate the Italians.
No.
How do you see the group playing out?
No. I thought Turkey did a fairly good job on the Italians in the first half. Defensively, I think there was a couple of. A better team, I think, would give Italy a bit of a run for their money. I think Switzerland's front line will give Italians' back line a bit of a problem. I really do. You know, but I still think there's, again, Italy have got enough about them to win that game. I could see Italy quarter-final semis, but they're not going to win it. There's nobody in this group that's going to win this tournament, for me anyway. Okay. But, you know, it's like I said, it's, you know, who knows? You know, who knows? I mean, Greece a few years ago, who knows? I know, like yesterday, a couple of people was on about Germany. I think Germany, for me, are a dark horse. They always seem to be shambolic, you know, friendlies, but you get them in a tournament, and they're like, right, okay, lads, now we'll start playing, you know?
You say that, but they didn't make it out of the World Cup group they were in the last World Cup.
No, but if I remember correctly, that was an aging squad, wasn't it?
It was, and they've gone through a rebuild, and he's had to call back a couple of those aging players to help his side. They're not the Germany of old. If Italy aren't the Italians of old, this isn't the Germany of old. But you still fancy them as a dark horse. I mean, they might well.
Yeah, look at Germany. You know what's happened. You know, I've been through so many semi-final. You know, Euro '96 and all. Oh. Yeah, you know, we'll always lose to bloody Germany in the penalty shootouts. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
you just know at some point. We're going to end up going out because of them. You know,
Coxie's reaction there got me. I'm sorry. You've been through so many semis.
Coxie, oi, easy, Tiger. Been a while, has it, mate?
Ryan Senior, Italy maybe wins. I think
years of marriage, mate. Yes,
you know, son. Brilliant.
Oh, George, 20 unbeaten, 9 straight clean sheets, and always shut in tournaments. Let's try and bring Lloyd back. He's changed the way he's coming on. Lloyd, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Perfect, loud and clear, my man. What did you make of today's game?
Well, let's be honest. Playing in Baku is bizarre because that's very hot. You're right on the edge of the Caspian Sea, and I think they said on commentary it was like 30 odd degrees. So
yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
that is quite shocking that they're playing in that heat. But you got to deal with what you've done. It's COVID situation, so you know it's not easy for anyone that's playing anywhere really because it's going to be hot, and you just have to deal with it.
You're right. Very different circumstances. Did you? Who were you rooting for during today's game? Wales or were you hoping
I went Switzerland to win because you never want any of the other home countries to do well. Let's be honest, because they don't want us to do well.
No, that's true. But then again, they all look up to us.
Well, because they're small mentality, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing here. But okay, so you want Switzerland to win. Keiffer Moore's header was a great header. Janssen had a great save. Were you disappointed at all coming away from this game in the sense of you expected more from either side, or are they exactly where you thought Switzerland and Wales would become?
Well, this honestly, I thought Italy would win the group, and then I think Turkey would come second. Because with Switzerland, you don't really know what you get with them. Because I think last World Cup or World Cup before that, they were mediocre. But no, I thought Wales would struggle today, but it looks like both teams struggled in today's heat. And yeah, if VAR didn't exist, Switzerland would be winning 2-1.
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's a very good point to make there. Michael Fidge, is that hot in Essex today? Nick Muller, going to be a hot tomorrow. I'll be there outside. Yeah, ahead of England, Lloyd. What are you thinking?
Well, I know the last time we played Croatia, it was in a friendly and we won 2-1. I reckon it would be that again, but I think it'd be definitely more cagey. Yeah,
Mike, do you agree with that?
I think on the what's name, I think I put a draw. Look, Gareth. I'm not a lover of Gareth Southgate. He's got some quality players. I just think it's going to be down to player choice, isn't it? It all depends who he put. We think there are more defensive-minded players in this team than we do attacking-minded players. I don't know. It all depends on what Gareth puts out. It's the squad he puts out that will determine the result. We've got to get on the foot. Look, if we are serious about winning this tournament, then we've got to get at them. We've got to get at these. We've got to get at these teams and proper get at them. Just don't get the odd 1-0. Let's put a stamp on it and say, right, let's go out there. Let's do what Italy did. That's the first time Italy's ever scored 3 goals in a tournament, I do believe. Somebody said it was talk about stats. That was one I heard yesterday. That's the first time they've scored 3 goals in any sort of major tournament. Let's do that. Let's put 3 goals past these teams, and then maybe the others will think twice about playing this. Oh, actually, they've just given Croatia a bit of a thumping. Maybe we do need to be a little bit more wary, and then that puts us in a strong position. But if we go out there cagey, and if we go out there negative, then it's just going to be another quarter-final, semi-final. Sorry, I'm laughing because of what Coxie was laughing about. Semi-final.
I was straight that time. Come on.
Disappointing.
Fair point. Michael Fitch, my son punched a hole in a chair in Cos when England lost to the Croats in the World Cup. That was a great game. The stars almost aligned for us there. We'll come on to England now before we go on to the rest of today's action very quickly.
Guys, I just got to say, I've got to go because I've got to go to work.
No worries.
Listen, lovely show as your normal. Good seeing you, boys.
Cheers, mate.
Lovely.
Cheers, Mike. Thanks ever so much. Lloyd, before we let you go, what lineup would you go with tomorrow if you were Gareth Southgate in a blazer?
I'll definitely go for a more attacking side. I know we've got all these defenders and stuff, but you want to play the most attacking side you want. You want to get off to a great start. You don't want to have a draw. I know a draw's good for a thing, but when we play Scotland, you don't want to have a very defensive side. So I want to see the strongest attacking side that we can possibly put out. Why I still can't believe Maguire's in the squad, even though there's rumours that he's not going to be able to play the third group games. So I would have replaced him with a more attacking player. I wouldn't want to see Henderson play him. Not at all.
No, me neither. He's there to do card tricks, isn't he?
Yeah. Get him some pom-poms.
Absolutely. Lloyd, if you're on Twitter, hit us up, follow us. Loved your comments this afternoon. Loved your views, man. Take care of yourself, and we're here most match days. Thanks for dropping by. We're back tomorrow.
Cheers.
England
Thank you very much.
Join us there. Thanks, mate. Coxie, George, you've both given me your England sides. We'll get those first, then we'll bring Colin in, give his thoughts, and then we'll go on to the rest of today's action. I'll start with you, George, and your lineup. I've got it here. Yep. This is what you've gone for. I've gone for a 4-3-3. I think that's what you were trying to go for with this. Pickford, Walker, Stones, Mings, Chilwell, Rice, Phillips, Mount, Sterling, Kane, and Rashford. Talk me through this lineup.
Oh, do I have to? Yes. Is there anything harder to do at the moment than predict an England lineup and an England formation? I'm not sure there is. I agree with what the comments that have gone before, which is what we've seen so far are two relatively cagey games. Italy came out themselves a little bit in the second half yesterday. So why not get at Croatia, assuming that they're going to be equally cagey? I think. I mean, there's a lot of no-brainers in there. The back four, potentially, you could put White in after his performance last week. But I quite fancy having Mings in there for obvious reasons. I just think get at them. And I think that sort of front five almost is the way to do it. To be honest, whether it's a bit flatter than that or not in the middle, I don't know. But I think, I just want to see England, as Mike said, have a go. And there are, you could put Sancho in, and I had a little look around yesterday at predicted 11s. I don't think I found two that were the same.
No,
and usually you can, in going into tournaments, it feels like you can, with some relative confidence, predict a starting 11 for an England team. But it's tough at the moment. But that's what I go with.
It really is, yeah. Okay, Coxie. Before I bring your team onto the screen, tell me what you rate George's out of 10, and tell him where he went wrong.
Oh, I don't think anybody could, as he said, it's a bit. You probably got more chance of predicting tonight's winning lottery numbers than predicting the team tomorrow.
You can do that as well. Pass them over.
You probably want them to share with me. Yeah. Now I think that's a good. There's probably a better thought out lineup when you get to mine. I think. But when you get to mine, I've got Greenish in there just so he.
Okay, let's get to yours now. Then here we go. Extra. You've gone for a 4-2-3-1. I've tried to knock it as quick as I could off while we were actually still talking on the camera. Yeah. So I've gone. This is what I've got, or what you've got, rather. Sorry, Johnson, White, Godfrey, Ming, Shaw, Phillips, Ward-Prowse, Sancho, Rashford, Kane, Grealish. Why Johnson first of all?
Why Johnson? Yeah, I just think for what I saw of him, and I don't usually I used to, when England are playing friendlies, I usually sort of dip in and out. I never actually watch the whole games. But for what I seen, I mean, slightly better keeper for me, in my opinion, than Pickford. Yeah, I think. But I do think Pickford will get the nod now. But
Southgate trusts him. Sancho, you've got Sancho in the lineup. You've got Grealish out wide on the left, Kane up front, and Rashford out wide on the right, or whatever formation that you've got them in your mind. What are your thoughts ahead of tomorrow with this lineup and Southgate, etc.? What have England got to do to go and beat Croatia?
Well, we've got to get out, and we can't afford to be cagey. Has been noted a few times. I'd have Grealish in the middle and Rashford on the left and Sancho out on the right. I got a feeling, as with my keeper, that he won't be in. That'll be, as George said, that'll be Raheem Sterling then. And I think I'd like to see Grealish. I mean, he's an annoying player. I saw him at Portman Road when he played for Aston Villa. And even at the time, my 10-year-old daughter said, "Dad, why does that man keep falling on the floor?" But if it's what he's got, it's what we've got to have to do. Have a little bit of change of mindset, try to play it the English and the fair way. If we have got to put a bit of that in there to try and win free kicks around the box, then so be it.
Most fouled player in Europe, though, to be fair to him.
Absolutely, yeah.
Michael Finch heard Grealish turn up Tom Day for synchronised diving at the Olympics. Dr. Zach King have to have Grealish in. Well, I tell you what, Zach, you're like my team then, because I've gone for a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2. Yeah. I've gone Pickford in goal, Ming, Stones and Walker as your back three, Trippier and Chilwell, Rice, Mount, Foden, Grealish and Kane. So Foden and Grealish are in my team, George and Coxie. What did you make of that?
It's brave.
Going there attacking. Going.
No. I think
questions.
I think this is coming back to Mike's point about all the defensive players that we have. Like, yes, he's taken a lot of right backs, but you look at the sort of 8 attacking players that we've got, if not more than that, and there's some real quality in there. And I think you could argue the case for Grealish, Foden, Mount all day long, really. And I think that's part of the problem with why our team's so unpredictable, is because it's just really difficult to I'd struggle. I mean, I don't spend all day with them, but I'd struggle to pick the best out of those guys. So I think it's as good a shout as any. I'm not sure. Have we played that formation? Is that one of Southgate's many?
3-5-2. Yeah, well, he's a bit of a disciple of that, having come through with Venables playing it in Euro '96 primarily.
Yeah.
Gives you a bit more foundation, I guess.
Yeah.
While also going to hurt other teams. Has he got a Coxie? Has he got to do a bit of what Italy have done recently and just say, look, almost shred the identity of old, shred the DNA of how we play. You know, England traditionally strong centre halves, solid at the back. This isn't England of old. This is England of new with attacking flair. Go and ask questions of Croatia. If you get beat 2-1, but you play the attacking way, are people going to be as upset if you go there and park the bus with only one attacking player or two or whatever? You know, like Italy have almost gone through a transformation period of shedding that. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't think. I mean, what is it? Was it now since '66? Was it 52 years or 50? Probably more than that now. Sorry, my maths is a bit wrong there. It's 50, probably 54 years, 54, 55 years of hurt. And let's face it, every tournament, every Euro, every World Cup that's come along, we've never done that. As you said, we've always stuck to the English way, strong centre backs. There's never sort of, when Germany fails, and as you said, Germany and Italy fail, which is not that often. They do actually go back to the drawing board, and they do actually then take it all apart and rebuild it like a Lego set. And we don't do that. No, and we do. It's a time for a bit of flair, time for us to be on the stage and really be the showman of the tournament. Yeah,
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Let's bring in Colin. Colin, you've seen all three teams there, my man. You're in the iconic shed. What did you make of the three teams? Which team out of those three would you go with?
Oh, in the shed. Look at that.
Wow. I thought I'd slip out here tonight. Yes, good. Yeah. Three teams. Who are we talking about, Martin? Sorry.
England, Colin. England. Come on. The blood, the passion, the guts, the glory. It's England.
Sorry, Martin. I'm miles away. What was the question again? Sorry, I've lost it a little bit.
What England team would you go with tomorrow?
What England team would I go with?
Yeah,
I'd go really like yourself. I'd go really attacking. I know everybody keeps saying that you can't play Foden and Mount on the same side. Ian's been up here this afternoon. We had a little chat about it. I'd have Foden and Grealish. Foden and Grealish. I'd have Foden and Grealish in the same side. I personally would. Yeah. I think there's a toss-up. I think the goalkeeper is a toss-up between Dean Henderson and Pickford. I think Pickford will get it through his distribution. I personally would play Chilwell at left back as opposed to Shaw. So I think Chilwell has got that mindset at the moment, having won the Champions League. And I also thought he played really well in that final. I'd have Walker. Obviously, I'd probably start Stones and Stones and possibly Mings if
McGuire. Do you see him winning tomorrow, Colin?
Sorry?
Do you see him winning tomorrow, or do you think a draw is probably the most likely outcome?
No, I'm going to. I know you're going to probably think my heart's wrong my head, Martin, but I'm going to go. No. I'm going to go 2-0 England. I'm very confident. I mean, Croatia have got a lot of experienced players. Yes, we've got 3 or 4 good experienced players on that side. We've also got, I think, arguably 2, if not 3, of the best youngsters in Europe right now. Last night, Mark, I think sometimes we down ourselves a little bit, Coxie, George and Martin. I think we down ourselves too much sometimes. I think let's pick ourselves up, We got I mean, I think we do. And the press are the worst. We all know that. I think we've got a good show in this tournament. I mean, obviously France But I think we've got a good shout.
Okay. Right. As we round up the show, and today we've got 2 more games left to preview. Let's have a quick conversation about those. We have got next up on the telly box Denmark versus Finland. For me, this is an underrated game. I think it's going to be an interesting, intriguing battle between 2 countries that are quite close to each other, will want to beat each other. Finland, first, I think it's their first appearance at a major tournament, certainly in my lifetime. Teemu Pukki is their striker. Denmark are a powerhouse of old through the 90s, especially the early 90s. They were a team that were traditionally those dark horse favourites. How do you see this one going there, Cox? Are you booing Teemu Pukki? Is it an underrated game for you?
That was George.
Yeah, I said one you've got to watch. But how do you see it?
My neighbours can hear me.
George and Norris, not Coxie in Yarmouth. Yeah. How do you think? I think it's going to be a 2-0 win to Denmark. Like you said, we haven't really seen a lot of Finland. Like I said, I can never remember that in the Euro or with the World Cup finals before. So I said a bit of an unknown commodity, but Denmark. Like I said, they won the Euros before. A game where they come in 1992, they were. Oh, that's a bit. I did boo Pookie, but I didn't say that. That's a bit much.
Bloody hell,
Finch. Bit naughty, that. Come on, Finch.
George, how about yourself? What do you make of this one?
I'm just quickly looking at the squad to see if I know anyone else than Teemu Pukki. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Denmark. One of my oldest friends is closely related. Danish heritage, so my heart is ruling that decision slightly, and obviously the Pukki connection. But I think it'd be a good game. I think for the reasons that you said, I think they'll probably see it as a bit of a local derby, and I think it could actually be quite a fun game to watch. So I wouldn't like to guess what it will be, but I'm going to go Denmark.
Okay, all right. Colin, Belgium, Russia. Belgium obviously are the big hitters in this group. Expected to be a really strong team, one of the ones that at least make the quarterfinals, if not the semi-finals. Is it an early test for Belgium, or should they breeze past Russia with absolute ease? Because Russia last time weren't too much of a pushover.
No, Russia. I remember the last time we saw them in tournament football. They've done, if I remember rightly, I think they've done a little bit better than a lot of people thought. Tonight's game against Denmark, like I said last night, I do rate Denmark as one of the kind of dark horses. If I had to put a scoreline on it, I'd probably go. Let's say, I'd say 2-0 Denmark.
2-0 Denmark. Okay.
How
about the Belgium-Russia game?
Belgium-Russia. Again. Belgium, I would say possibly 2 or 3-1.
George, is it a possible trip up for Belgium, or should they have too much for Russia?
Yeah, I think so. Russia haven't been a pushover for a long time, I don't think, but Belgium, albeit slightly aging as a squad, I think they've got no excuse to not turn Russia over, I don't think. But all depends how cagey it is. Seems to be the word of the day.
Yeah, absolutely does. Right, we are back tomorrow at 1:30 with myself, the Cruncher, and this man, the GOAT, Colin Plum, and in addition to Kate Riley.
How do you like the shed, Martin?
Oh, I love it. It looks great. Yeah. It looks absolutely great. Who's over that? Who's over your left-hand shoulder? Just here.
My left-hand shoulder.
Yeah, just here. Who's that there?
Over my left-hand shoulder.
Which picture you on about, Martin?
What, above the shelf?
No. Go back to where you were. That's it. There.
Mr. Chambers.
See you later, Colin. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Cole. I'm not having that on my show. He's gone. He's no more. But no, you're here with me tomorrow. Should look great. So is Kate Riley. 1:30 for the England versus Croatia game. But until then, George, Coxie, I appreciate you both very much. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you all tomorrow, 1:30.